Hello and happy St. Patty's Day. Welcome to
Hey.
Queers and Soaps. I'm Eric, joined once again with that girl,
Yeah, Karen.
bringing us some more Ryan's Hope. We've been doing this for a year now,
Yeah, a whole
um,
year. A whole year of me hating on Ryan's.
and we're not even up to episode 100. This is covering episodes 86 to 90. Tommy will roll the credits and we'll chat. All right, yes, the Ryans were celebrating Frank's speech. Uh, Faith and Pat are there. Georgia's there. This woman that's like helping, and everybody's excited. I don't know where this Georgia came from. She just came out of nowhere,
She's
but
a new
apparently she's
character. Her and Kenneth, they just appeared from nowhere.
yeah. They've been apparently helping on Frank's campaign, but we never seen them until now. Maeve and Johnny, of course. Everybody's trying to celebrate, all thinking that he's gonna win. So I thought he was gonna lose. um, we get this weird man, Kenneth, comes in for an interview with Seneca, Kenneth the
Mhm.
lab tech,
He's real
who's
weird.
very similar to Faith. um, so I guess maybe they're gonna hook up. I don't know,
As soon as he was
or he's gonna creep.
introduced, I was like, he's such a weird little guy. He's probably for Faith.
So sad. But the weird people with the weird people.
I guess.
I mean, Pat's weird in his own right.
Yeah.
Um, he brings them to Nell because it's going to be a lab tech for Nell.
Mhm.
And she seems really happy. She's like, "Oh, thank you. I needed help, whatever." So she hires him pretty much on the spot. Seems like a nice guy. Knows his shit.
He's impressed with her too. He's excited to work with her. So that's
Yeah.
good.
I don't think he knew he was there for that. Like he thought he was going to be working with Seneca because he was like, "Oh, I get to work with Nell. That's even cooler."
Yeah, he was like 50% of your time is going to be working with Dr. Bullock and then Dr. Bullock. Like they're both Dr. Bullock. Like what's this guy going to do? He's never going to
Damn,
know where
Doctor
he's
Balak.
supposed to be.
Yeah, right. Right. Who am I
Go
working
assist
for?
Dr. Bullock.
Delia gets to the bar and she's all mad. No one cares about me. Everyone left me at Frank's whatever.
That was a sad story though. She literally went back inside to get her bag and they all left her there.
I
It's
mean, she
so
did cause
sad.
the issue,
They
so
don't
I
know
wasn't
that.
too sad for her. I wasn't too sad for her. Ooh. Um, Maeve questions her about. She's like, "Aren't you proud of Frank? He did all this." She's like, "I just want him home." She doesn't want to be a politician's wife, and blah blah blah. Delia goes to see Seneca,
Hmm.
which I kind of don't know where this was going. She just wanted Frank home, she says, like to get out.
She
Does
wants
she
more
just want him
control.
to? Is that what she's trying to do?
Yeah, if she has him at the house, she can control whether or not Jill comes in. She can control who sees him. She can control him because he's helpless.
So she wants him home, because he only gets out on like a temporary leave
Right.
for
So
the
she wants
thing.
him at the house so that she can take over being his main caretaker and then he's at her mercy.
Mm. Pat says we need to support Delia. He's the only one that's like Team Delia in this situation. Maeve's like, we try, and she's just crazy.
Yeah, but Maeve's
Um,
speech to Delia was also really rude because it was just like, aren't you happy that he's doing all these things and like you should just be supporting what he's doing? And Delia's kind of right. She's the other half of a couple. And she's like, well, what about me and what I want to do? And she's like, who cares what you want to do? Frank's a popular man. Just live his dream.
support your husband. Support your husband.
It's more like sacrifice
Um,
yourself so that your husband can do whatever he wants to do. And shit, that's not what she wants to do. This is not the marriage she wanted.
yeah. Oh yeah. I think Maeve talks to Pat about Faith, and I think
Again,
he's
yeah.
like, he says she's my buddy, which doesn't sound like a love interest, but
I know, but at the same time, I don't think he would talk about that with Maeve because of how Maeve feels about his love life because he's kind of
yeah.
hoeing around and they don't want
I
him to do
mean,
that to Faith. But at the same
Right.
time, yeah, it did not feel like he has the same level of interest that she does.
And Kenneth gets there, creeping around at the bar, and sees Faith and Pat dancing. That was how that ended.
Everybody was dancing.
Next episode, at the campaign headquarters, everything's going wild. The phones are going crazy. This girl Patsy comes. She's hearing rumors about Frank. She's like, "What do we say when people ask like how he's doing and stuff?" They're like, "Say he's doing fine. He just wheeled on the stage. He was all good."
Yeah. Didn't you see him at the rally? Should have
Yeah.
been at the rally.
There's only hours till the election. Finally, I feel like it took forever to get to this damn election. I didn't even think we were going to get to the election. I didn't know it was going to go that route. I thought he was just going to be counted out and be stuck
I
in
thought
the
he was going
hospital.
to die, like in the beginning, because he was in that
Right.
coma for a long time, and I thought he was going to drop dead.
Yeah. Mary wants Jack and Johnny to spend time together, I guess, because she's in love with them and whatever, I guess, to be friendly.
Yeah, but
She tells
Johnny doesn't.
Maeve. She tells Maeve that she loves Jack. They have the sex talk.
Yeah.
I thought you might have some feelings about the sex talk.
I agree with what Mary said, because Mary said that we don't give Frank or Pat a problem, and we all know how Pat is, how he's basically sleeping around and it's not a big deal. So why can't I do whatever I want to do? And Maeve tells this in like long-winded story about how she waited to have sex until she was married, except the story was basically like, we did everything except the last part before we got married. So it's like and then she was like, and I've only slept with your father, and that's the way I want it to be. And that's how it is, and all that. And Mary's like, okay. But I think at the end of it, Maeve was like, well, you got to do what you got to do. It's a modern world. But it was
Trust
kind
your
of
gut,
very
basically.
discouraging against the idea of having sex with Jack, which I'm not really for her having sex with Jack either, but that's neither here nor there. But I do agree with her that she should have the right to do whatever she wants to do.
Yeah.
She's a single woman. I don't think you should marry the first person you sleep with. What if you don't know what you don't know, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
But it works out for some people.
Maeve talks to Johnny about like just talking to him, hanging out with him while everybody's at the bar.
Mm-hmm.
Jill comes to Ryan's. Everyone seems to be Team Frank. Everybody's happy that, whatever's going on. Bob and Mary, I guess make up because I guess he was acting weird, and they're like,
they have a little heart to heart because he was being rude to her because of Jack, and he's just like, it was because I wanted to support Frank, and I was, my boyfriend was running for whatever, and I didn't want him to not win because of your boyfriend. And that was like kind of the moment, like what it felt like to me.
Right.
Except that I know everybody's in love with Mary.
The news results are in. Frank's losing so far.
It was 3,000 votes for the
1,
opponent.
1,000 something.
Yeah.
Delia tells Jill that she's going to lose Frank.
Mm-hmm. If Frank doesn't win, Jill is out and Delia's in. And Jill's just like, whatever.
Yeah, right. She kind of is. Johnny welcomes Frank. I guess he just got there in his wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
They chat a bit. Frank comes to the bar with Bob. Delia runs to him, and the news is on. That's how that one ended. So everyone's excited. City council, all that stuff. Frank is the projected winner now. All of a sudden, I don't know how that
they
happened.
said that a lot of the votes were going to be counted later. Throughout these episodes, you see Mary and Bob and all them arranging rides for older people to get there. I think there's a scene where somebody can't get a babysitter, and there's like 5 people who need a babysitter so they can go. All the kids are at the one house. So like there's a lot of last minute votes getting in. Like, because imagine that they announced the election results the same night as the election. Like, are they just counting them? The person walks in and they're like, Frank, and then they put it on tally board. How are they doing this so fast?
I don't know.
I mean, when we go through an election, sometimes it's a week before I guess it's a small town. Wait, what's the town? Because it's just in New York, right?
I think it's just in New York. I don't know if there's a town. Is there?
It's got to
Maybe
be
there
a
should
borough
be.
then. Like it's a small borough because
I
how
don't
else could
know.
this happen
Yeah,
so quickly?
I don't know. I never heard them mention it though.
They just generally are like, we're in New York. And it makes you feel like the borough is called Ryan's Hope because that bar is the center of everything that happens in this town.
That's true. That's true. So Delia is trying acting like the loving wife. He thanks Jill
Hmm.
for all she did.
And the
Bucky goes to
photographer
see.
wants a picture with just him and his wife. And that was the most
Mm-hmm.
awkward. It was so, I loved it.
Bucky goes to see Nell. She's updating her will or whatever.
Hmm.
He wants her to go to the Ryans, and he talks her into it. When she gets up, she has a little head pain, so these
Hmm.
tumors are busting. Um, we find out the other dude, the opponent, conceded, and Frank wins
Yay,
the
I guess.
election.
Yay.
Yeah, I didn't think he'd win. I really didn't think he'd win. I didn't
I
think it
didn't
was going
think
to go
he
that
would
route.
win.
So
I mean, I think in reality he would not have won because he was in that serious
no,
accident and he was recovering. People would be like, "This is not a good idea. He needs to recover and then come back
yeah,
stronger." They would have voted for the opponent, like because,
next
and
time,
especially in that early of a time period, they would have been like, "He's in a wheelchair. How can he help us?" Because they were really
right?
ignorant. you know?
True.
And literally not to like be down on Frank, but like last week he couldn't even sit up and now he's being basically strapped into a wheelchair to be able to go anywhere or do anything. Like
Yeah, right.
honestly, I kind of agree with Delia about his recovery. And if she cared in the way you're supposed to, like a loving wife instead of whatever this is, we could
Yeah,
be on
right.
her side.
Delia does bring Little John in for a minute, and they take him right out.
Yeah,
I
they
guess
take
just to
him
say
right
hey.
out. Like
Well, I
they
guess because Frank's leaving soon anyway. Remember, like he can't really stay
I
there
think
that
she was
long.
doing it to pull attention to herself again.
Probably. That was Delia.
And to show the
That's
baby.
what she does. Yeah. Like, here's my baby, Jill.
Yeah, but she like leans
See my
over the
baby.
baby and he's like, "Yay!" Because remember, he's not seeing his son. He hasn't seen his son since he's gone into the
No.
hospital, and he just goes,
Yeah, you
"Oh,
can't
there
take
he is."
babies.
And then Maeve took the baby right away, and it's like, "That's all you want to see of your son?"
Yeah.
Okay,
This is where they do the pictures. Dude wants the
so
pictures of
awkward.
Frank and Delia. Jill looks upset, obviously. I mean,
Too
she's
bad
older
you're the other
and she can't be
woman.
in the pictures.
Yeah, you put yourself in that position.
Nell and Bucky get to Ryan's. Maeve starts her Irish dancing. We
It
know
was
you love this.
horrible.
It was wonderful.
Oh
Maeve
my
is
god, it was
wonderful.
terrible. I was like, I can't
This is
take
an
this.
this is an Emmy award-winning dance.
Sure, it was great. It was great.
Pat, Faith, Johnny, are there.
Yeah, they
Bucky
sucker
makes a
Faith into
remark.
dancing too. Like Faith starts
Yeah,
dancing.
yeah,
Um,
that's what Bucky made a remark about it.
yeah,
He's like,
and
"Oh,
then
I can
Nell
never get her
got
to dance."
right, and then Nell got excited because she was like, "This is a good idea. I like being here. This is fun." But she's kind of
Yeah,
getting woozy again.
yeah, that poor thing.
And Seneca came too.
Frank says to Jill, he wishes they could be out on the dance floor together. Seneca
Someday.
arrives.
Mhm.
The Ryans sing, which we always love. Frank gotta go back to the hospital. He thanks everybody. Nell gets dizzy and a headache, and she passes out. And
Yep,
Seneca just lifts her up like Superman and takes her to the hospital.
I still
I
hate
guess
him.
I guess the hospital is like right across the street.
It has to be because the nurses are always in there and everybody goes there for lunch, and you wouldn't want to go that far from the hospital, for
Yeah,
lunch because you only have like so many. I guess they would have had an hour back then to go to
yeah,
lunch
right.
and come back. Now you get like what, 15 minutes? Get back to work.
So the next episode, the doctors are getting ready for to do some tests on Nell. She's like out cold.
They're
I
going to
think
do a
somebody cuts.
spinal tap to see if her aneurysms are leaking. So the first thing, and then they're going to do scans. So they start cutting her dress off.
Yeah, the nurse cuts her dress off. Clem is there, of course.
Mhm.
Ed and Roger are in Cali, so they're not going
They're
to be
out of the
able to do the
way
procedure. Yep, out
after
of the
all that.
way. Seneca says that one of the aneurysms is leaking. Um,
Because there's blood when they do the tap. There's blood in the tap.
Faith and Pat see Bucky to see what's up. Kenneth lurks and introduces himself to Faith and Pat.
I think Kenneth was worried because that's his new boss, and she just dropped dead. He's like,
He says
uh-oh.
he's worried. He says he's worried about now.
He's like, she's such a nice lady.
I wasn't sure who was dreaming this because it zoomed into Nell and then it like they had that flashback of like her and Seneca. But then when they zoomed back in after the flashback, it was Seneca. So I was like, was Seneca thinking of that or was Nell dreaming it when she was out cold?
I don't know. I would assume it was Seneca, but it wasn't clear.
Yeah, it wasn't. Well, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was both. Who knows? But it was like one of their good moments in their relationship.
Oh yeah. It
one
was.
of their few.
Except that I didn't like it because I did not like the way he talked to her. Well, yeah, I know I don't like Seneca, but he is really controlling, and her friends don't like him, and that's usually a bad sign.
Well,
and she's just basically like, I already chose you over my friends. I love you, and I'll be your servant or whatever she says, and it just was gross. Sorry, not a fan.
It's fine. I mean, he's trying to save her at least, so he does care.
He's trying to save her. I know he's trying to save her, and I know he cares. And on that end, I'm going to give him props for that. I just don't like their relationship.
Half star.
Yeah, half star. I don't like any of the relationships, to be honest, other than Johnny and Maeve.
Yeah, right.
I like the couple that are normal and together.
Watching cats have sex in the alley.
Yeah, it was weird.
The scans come in, Seneca grabs them. Faith and Ken kind of get to know each other a little bit. So I guess he's a new character that's going to hang around.
They have chemistry. Maybe. They have weird chemistry.
Yeah.
Strange love chemistry. I'm gonna put an early vote down for the weirdos becoming a couple.
Again, he seems like a match for Faith.
Yeah.
Pat and Faith leave. Nell gets prepped for surgery. Clem and Seneca prepare to do it.
Yeah, and they're just upset because they're waiting for her to come up and for the scans to come, and they're scrubbing in, and like Seneca's getting more and more anxious, which I don't think is great to have him in surgery because like, isn't he going to make Clem nervous the entire time?
Clem's good like that.
Clem's so solid. I'm glad it's Clem.
He is solid.
Yeah, it's not Roger. I don't know if I would want Roger on this one.
Yeah, and we know that Seneca likes Clem, so.
Yeah, and he also kind of said to Clem, he's like, take your time. Don't let me, like, push you. And Clem is like, yeah, but I got to get in there fast.
If it was Roger and Seneca, that would be awkward.
I would think it would be a weird, scenario.
After Roger went to him and pulled that shit.
Right.
Last episode, Jack and Mary, I don't know where they were. Were they at her place? Were they at...
They were at his place. They went for coffee. She walked back to his house with her for coffee, and then they have whatever that long, terrible conversation is. It's forever.
Because she says later, like, don't take me home. Oh, so they were at his place,
and she wants to sleep with him. That's why she says, "Don't take me home."
So Frank won. Everybody's happy. They have this weird conversation. She basically says that the family lives vicariously through Frank's win. Like, and she says she's a win for us.
But she says she specifically sees herself as an extension of her brother. And like the family was like, first Frank Ryan was born, and then Frank Ryan was born again as a girl. And like, that's messed up.
It is.
And now she's finally, I think she's starting to separate herself from being basically Frank's shadow. But sleeping with Jack isn't exactly doing that. What is that to becoming your own person? I guess making your own decisions.
He even asks her if she's gonna stay with like him after, to work for him or whatever, and she's like, no, I'm gonna find somebody else, and I feel like I need to move on.
Yeah, well, at first she's worried because she says that she thinks Frank will see it as her not supporting Jill and Frank. And Jack is like, that's dumb. He would never say that. He loves you. You love him. And she's like, okay, well then maybe I won't do it because I kind of want to be my own person now. Yeah. And I respect it.
Yeah, for sure. So Faith wakes up Pat when he's like in the little lounge, whatever.
Poor Pat.
They talk about Nell. She feels bad for Bucky. She likes being with Pat. I like that he's like, I leave it to you what you want to do between us, like
Yeah, he's like,
whatever.
everything's up to you. It goes as far as you want. We do whatever you
Yeah.
want. And then she climbs into his lap to kiss him.
Mm-hmm. And
So
Bucky
maybe she
knocks
just
on the
doesn't like
door.
being pressured. Oh yeah, yeah, he does.
Bucky's there. Stop that.
Well, he that's not why he was there though. He was there because his
No,
aunt's
I know,
dying and they're too busy
I'm
making out.
getting it. Wait, what? Oh yeah, so it goes back to Mary and Jack. She tells them about the sex talk she had with Maeve. I'm like, she really tells this man everything.
It's weird. I don't think I'd be telling someone about a sex talk I had with my mother. That just seems
right?
It's so weird. Like,
but I guess that's like the trust. Like she just, I don't know. She just feels it with them. So they burn those things. Do you know what that was?
No.
They burn those things for wishes, and they make wishes, whatever.
I don't know if maybe they wrote it on a piece of paper. I have to tell you, I have zero interest in them, so it's hard for me to focus when they're on together because I don't care.
Oh my god, I think they have the best chemistry.
I hate them. I hate them.
I love them. Well, they're together, happily ever after.
Good for them. They're boring.
Yeah, but they were cute, in my opinion.
Mm.
They kiss. I think she says like what'd she say? Like I want you to be important to me as I am to you, and then they kind of agree with that, and then they kiss at the end. It's cute. Bucky says the surgery's still on, but he had to get out of there. He's like, they were like holding her brain, and I was like, I'm out. Like, just like,
yeah, you have to feel bad.
He shouldn't have been in there. He shouldn't have been in there.
Do you know what it is? It's like he thought I'm a surgeon. I can sit in the observatory and I can keep an eye on what's happening. But then he didn't make the connection that it's not some random person you can depersonalize. It's your aunt, and your every movement is going to freak you out.
Yeah, like I mean, I feel like he should have known that. I get like he probably wanted to be there to help, but you can't.
We're never going to let him in the operating room. He was just in the observational deck watching, and it freaked him out, and he left.
And Faith and Pat comfort him, and that was a sweet moment between them. I like that.
I liked when they all hugged, but I did think that Faith was not that comforting until then, because she was kind of like, okay, so we'll just talk about something else. And then he got sad again, and she's like, oh, you're thinking about your aunt again.
Yeah, you're right. She did go off. I mean, she was nice about it at first and stuff, and then she's
I know she was trying.
Yeah,
she was trying, but like sometimes with Faith, you're just like, what is happening, girlfriend?
And then it ended. I guess Mary and Jack are gonna have sex because he carried her, I guess, to his bed.
I guess so, because he's in a studio apartment. It's not like he has anywhere else to put her, because he just has a bed to one room.
Yeah, right. Isn't it just like a table and a bed?
Yeah, I think so. There's got to be a kitchen in there somewhere, but I'm not really sure where it is or anything about it. Because like we were in there one time where he said he was cooking and he just went off screen and then came back. So I don't know if there's like a kitchenette and it's just a studio or what. But also his bed is like a bed with bookcases behind it, and he's always like, "This is my office." So like, does he have no other rooms, or does he have another room that is the bedroom, but he like keeps the bed in the front room because he just sleeps with people and kicks them out the door? Like, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know enough about him.
So Lemon Lady, I believe, said that one of her favorite storylines is coming up, and she's excited for us to see. So
will I like it, Lemon Lady? Will I? Or
is she going to be difficult? No,
I think difficult.
I don't know which one it would be. I'm definitely guessing it's not Jack and Mary.
No, I don't care about them. I don't like their relationship.
I wonder if it's Faith and Kenneth.
That seems more interesting. I
like the Pat and Bucky.
I kind of am a little aggravated that Seneca, like, it seems like Nell is falling back in love with Seneca. Like, I feel like she escaped an abusive relationship and she's being suckered back into it through this.
Yeah, I agree. But if she makes it, I mean, right now she's still on the table with her brain out.
Sure. Yeah, but she has another aneurysm to go, so this isn't like the last of that.
Right.
And I love Delia. I think that her machinations are so much fun to watch. She's so evil.
Yeah, she's interesting. Yeah, I wonder if this is yeah, like, cause I'm wondering now, like, well, I guess The Office doesn't start until January, right? Like Frank won't start until January.
Yeah,
Um,
usually you get elected in November and then you don't get sworn in till like January. So
yeah,
at
so
least that's
we
what
still,
happened in the presidential.
yeah, we got to get through, I guess, the next 2 months of Frank getting shit together. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, but is he going to get anything together if she takes him home? Because once she has him at the house, she's not going to want him to do the physical therapy. She's not going to want him to have meetings with Jill and Bob and all them. And she's going to have more control over whether or not that happens, unless
Well,
Maeve steps
Seneca,
in.
yeah, and Seneca even
Seneca
said
didn't
you have
agree
to
with her. Yeah.
no, because he said you have to bring him here 2 times a day. Like he has to have like
PT,
intense
and
therapy. Yeah,
he also probably has to have a lot of blood draws to make sure he's doing okay, um, and scans to make sure he's not doing more damage to his spine. There's a lot that he would need on a continuing basis.
I was a little disappointed. Well, I guess I mean we're left on the air with Nell right now, so she's in peril.
I like that. It's a
So
nice
yeah,
classic cliffhanger for the weekend to have Nell
but
in the
yeah, but they
hospital.
didn't. They didn't even show her in the last episode though. Like I would think they would have showed a little bit of the
I'm
surgery or something. They
assuming, and
just
yeah,
had Bucky.
no, I know, but an aneurysm surgery, I don't know how long that takes. So maybe they're going to show it on Monday and have it be the next week's storyline. Is will she
Yeah,
survive the surgery? Because it seems like they dropped two new characters, like that Georgia woman who she just kind of showed up and was like involved in everything. We just had that in Peyton Place. We're watching Peyton Place for fun, and this neighbor just showed up in the one episode, and she was just talking to everybody like she'd always been there.
yeah,
And I was just like,
yeah.
why do they do this to me? Because like you've never been in this town before, miss. I
Yeah,
don't
I've
know
not
you.
been to this town.
So like they did that with this Georgia woman and also another woman at the campaign. But the one at the campaign headquarters just seemed like another helper at the campaign. There was a lot of people there.
Yeah,
But this woman, they did a lot of focusing on her. So I'm assuming she's not just a day player. If she is, that's weird.
yeah, it would be weird. I really don't know where any of these stories are going, so I'm excited to see.
I thought Seneca was really heroic when he picked her up and started yelling "move," and then these dumb people wouldn't move out of the way. Like he had to basically hit
Get out
hit
the
them with
way.
their feet to get them to move. And then they
Yeah.
were acting like it was a crush situation, and they were all like, "Oh, oh," and it's like, just get out of the way. God, you're in a bar. There's plenty of room to move away. And
Right.
I thought like the whole relationship with Faith and Pat is entertaining because he's just like another girl pal that I have. She's my friend, and maybe we'll sleep together, but maybe we won't. I don't care. And everyone's like, "You can't do that, Pat. She's not going to take that well." And he's like, "She'll be fine." And then like they introduce Kenneth, and you're just like, "What a little weirdo." And it's I don't know
Yeah.
where it's going. I don't know, but I
Yeah,
felt bad for
I don't
Bucky either.
either. Because Faith is so into Pat, I can't even imagine her looking Kenneth's way right now.
She is following him like a puppy everywhere he goes, and it seems like she's very infatuated with him. So I don't know if that's going to be really good for her or really bad for her. I'm not sure.
Lemon Lady also did answer your question about one of the sisters coming on soon. Within a few months, I
Are
think
you not
one of
going to
them's
tell me which
coming.
one?
I don't remember which one.
Oh, I should read the comments. That's
Look at
on
the
me.
comments.
We
Yeah,
know
look
that's
at the
on me, but I
comments.
have such a hard time finding anything. I'm terrible at the internet sometimes.
Go
No,
on
I'm
Queers
terrible.
and Soaps and
I'm
click on
actually
our
really.
latest Queers and Soaps and click on our latest Ryan's Hope.
And then comment and then be like, why does Karen never answer the comments? And maybe I'll
I
go.
always do.
I did in the beginning when someone was like, why do you watch this show if you hate the Ryans?
And you would like it. I think they don't really like Mary and Jack either. So
I don't know. I guess as an older woman, I'm not like a 20-year-old girl. Like I see this man more as a predator than as a love interest because she's so young and he keeps telling her, I'm offering you nothing. He's not offering her marriage. He's not offering her anything. He's just like, I could love you. I don't though. But not if you sleep with me, I might love you. So like I feel like he's just not giving her anything she wants.
I think he loves her. I think it
Well, even if
shows.
he does, his communication skills suck. And
Oh,
I
don't they
hate when
all?
they, yeah, I hate when they rely on a woman like doing this like tarot card reading of a man's emotions to figure out what she should do. She's like, I think I can make him love me. And I'm like, that's lame. Just go find one that you have three other guys
Yeah,
in town that are in love with you, and you're going to go after the one who can't decide how he feels ever. Like, it's
right,
irritating.
right.
But it is a canon event. It is what young women do because they've been fed a diet of you're going to meet the right man and fall in love and get married and live happily ever after. Like, well, you don't know what the right man is when you meet them. They could be anybody because
True.
you don't know who people are until you get to know them. Like, because everybody puts a false front up in the beginning. And I don't know about Jack. Like, he lets her into his life. Like, he took her to meet the nun and all that, and the priests and all that. But it was more like, he didn't really let her into his life. He just showed her that he had one. You know what I mean?
Right.
I feel like we
I
don't
wonder
know
what
anything about his inner life.
I wonder what's gonna happen when Roger gets back too, and be like, "Oh, the surgery was done," because isn't he supposed to do it?
He's going to be furious because Clem got the surgery that he wanted to do. But at the same time,
Right.
he had not bullied Clem out of the position. He would have been the one doing the surgery.
He would have been there. That's
Yeah.
true.
So he screwed himself. Like, you know how they're always like, you played yourself. Well, like, you did. But he also got to do this surgery training, which is still going to look really great on his resume.
Did they have the equipment that they needed from there for the surgery?
Well, they
Did you
didn't do
catch that?
they were going to do the magnetic treatment, which
They didn't do that.
no, they didn't because the aneurysm started leaking. So I'm assuming what they're going to
Okay.
do is cut the aneurysm out and restitch the vein. Maybe put a
Okay.
stent in. I don't know. I'm not a surgeon. I only have TV medical knowledge, which is
You're a
why
surgeon
everyone.
watching this? Explain.
If you're a surgeon, what do you do for an? I could do some googling too. Doctor Google will tell me. It'll be
Yeah,
terrible and
right.
it'll be
That's true.
bad, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like that Clem got to do this surgery after all
Yeah,
because
same. I do
he's
too.
my favorite, and I hate that he got
And I
screwed out
hope
of it.
I hope he rubs it in Roger's face too.
I want him to lord it. I want him to lord it over him. I want him to be like, well, if you had stayed with your patients, then
You would have
maybe
been doing
you
it.
would.
You
Yeah,
would
I
have been
know.
doing. Now this is if she lives. If she does not
If she
live, then
lived.
it does not look good for
Well,
Clem.
there's no bragging if the patient dies. Well, maybe if you hated the patient. I
Right.
don't know. I thought this was like
And
a
then
really good week. This was a good week.
he didn't love Nell. Remember, they didn't get along in the beginning. Clem and
Yeah,
Nell.
but they
Until she
apologized to
came
one
on.
another.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
he
they did.
apologized to him, and I keep saying he
And
let
he
her off the
clearly
hook.
knows.
Yeah.
And he clearly knows she has issues. So
Yeah, but
he
I think that
understands her.
was very classy of her to actually apologize, because you know how sometimes
Oh, for sure.
people don't apologize, they just pretend that it didn't happen and then they just move on as if it never happened, and it's like, yo, bro, you still gotta apologize.
Right, right.
So I give her points for that. But when she came on, she was so classist. I was like, come on, these people are working at the hospital, they're not working for you directly.
And I'm curious how the storyline's going to go now with Frank having the Senate thing. So,
Also, he's going to get more and more autonomy as we go along, like, because he's now moving himself around. And I wonder if we're going to get into a scenario where it's like Misery, where like Delia has him trapped.
oh,
That
I
would
didn't
be
think of that.
interesting. Yeah.
I didn't think of that. Although he's trapped in a house with everybody, because don't they all live together?
They do this. Okay, like all these shows where the entire family lives together forever makes me crazy. But like,
I know.
I mean, if you had a big enough house,
No one
sure.
wants this.
I know no one wants to
this.
live with, well, maybe my mom, but I don't think I'd love living with my parents plus all my brothers. That would be insane. Like, I remember that
Yeah.
when we were a kid and everybody was just fighting over the toilet all the time. You can never pee. I want a house where
Right.
the bathroom is mine.
Right? I hear you.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think I'm really excited to see one of the sisters. Now I got to check the comments and find out which sister.
I want to say it's Siobhan, but I could be wrong.
All right. And we got our best St. Patrick's Day gear on. We found green stuff.
And they also said that Catherine Hickland plays Faith at one point. So I'm
I love
excited for
Catherine
that
Hickland.
too. I love her too.
I'm super
I would
excited.
love
for
to see
that.
her take
Although
on Faith.
I'm really fond of this Faith because I think she plays quirky and weird so well that it feels
Oh,
natural.
she definitely does.
Yeah, she's an
Definitely does.
incredible actress. So like I will be sad when she's recast, but that's the nature of soap operas. Especially
Yeah,
since
and
we
we
learned
got
Frank gets recast like a billion times.
yeah, right. Yeah.
This week Frank will be played by, and then the next week, this week Frank will be played by.
Many people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this was a good batch. I look forward to more. There's a lot. I like that we have no idea really where these storylines are going. It's
Yeah.
very like for
Yeah. I
being soap
thought
opera minded and like knowing things like we don't have
I
a
mean, I
clue.
feel like Faith is heading for a fall with the Pat situation because I
I would
think Pat
assume.
still has loving feelings for Delia. I think that's in the way that he defends her.
Yeah.
I think there's something still there that might bloom later on. I don't know. Um,
Yeah, I see
but
that.
this is not going to work out the way Faith wants it to.
No.
She's another. I feel like her and Mary are just walking around like, if I try hard enough, they'll love me, and
Right.
that's not a thing that happens. It's just not that way. So
No, no.
it is exciting, and I do want to. I want Nell to survive because I really like Nell.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. So I don't know. Even if she survives, it's only going to be for a little while longer because she has that other inoperable aneurysm. So they're just buying
Yeah.
her more time,
Yep.
which is a bummer.
All right. Well, we'll wrap this week's Happy St. Patty's Day again. Thank you for
Happy
joining
St.
us.
Patrick's Day. I hope you're going to the bar tonight if you're a person that likes to go to the bar. Ryan's bar is always open. It never seems to close.
That's true.
2 o'clock in the
always
morning,
open.
you can get a sandwich in that kitchen. I don't know how, but the doors are never locked. Go to Ryan's
Yes.
pub.
Someone's always there, even after hours.
They're watching the cats do it in the alley. They're there.
So Lemon Lady, of course, continue to comment, and I don't know the other lady's name because it says like letters. So comment as well, other lady,
Let me know what
and
you think. I'm always curious to know what you think. Usually Eric has to tell me though because I'm lame.
other people comment. Did you watch Ryan's Hope? Let us know what you think.
Yeah. Are you
Um,
rewatching? What do you think on second watch? Sometimes things are so different when you watch them as an adult than when you watch them as a kid.
it's on YouTube. You can check
Yeah,
it out.
on YouTube.
All right. Well, until next time. See you later.